When you were 7, a single summer felt like it lasted forever. The days stretched out endlessly. August felt like a different country from June. Now, you blink, and the whole year is gone. Entire seasons vanish. Look up, and it's December again, with no idea where the time went. And here's the disturbing part. If you're 30 years old, more than half of your perceived life may already be over. Not half your years. Half the time your brain will ever feel like it lived. This isn't your imagination, and it isn't just getting old. Time really is speeding up, and there's a specific reason it's happening inside your brain right now. Let's start with the oldest explanation, because it's the one almost everyone has heard, and it's only half right. In 1897, a French philosopher named Paul Janet proposed something simple. The reason a year feels shorter as you age is that each year is a smaller fraction of the life you've already lived. Think about it. When you're 2 years old, a single year is half of your entire existence. It's enormous. When you're 10, a year is 10% of your life. But by the time you're 50, 1 year is 2%. The same 365 measured against everything you've experienced keeps shrinking. Janet called it proportional time. Your birthdays aren't getting faster. They're just getting smaller relative to the pile of years behind them. And on paper, the math is beautiful. It even predicts something strange. If you feel time by proportion, then the midpoint of your life, the moment where it all feels like half of it is behind you, isn't at 40 or 50. It's shockingly early. By some versions of this model, a person feels like they live half of their lives before they even turn 20. That's where the half of your life is already over idea comes from. It's not about years remaining. It's about how your brain weighs them. But that's only half of the story, because proportional time has a problem. It treats every year as an equal slice, and your brain absolutely does not. Ask yourself something. Why did that childhood summer feel so long while you were living it? Not just looking back? Proportion can't explain that. Something else is going on. And it comes down to a single strange idea. Your brain doesn't measure time with a clock. It measures time with memories. In the 2000s, neuroscientist David Eagleman spent years studying how the brain builds its sense of time, and he arrived at a conclusion that flips the whole question upside down. The length of a period of time as you remember it depends how much new information your brain recorded during it. When you're a child, everything was new. Your first day of school, the first time you saw the ocean, the first time you rode a bike, tasted something strange, got your heart broken. Your brain is laying down dense, detailed, high-resolution memories almost constantly. And when you look back on a time packed with new experiences, your brain reads all that density and concludes one thing. That took a long time. Now look at an average week of your adult life. You wake up to the same alarm, the same commute, the same desk, the same faces, the same scroll before bed. Your brain has seen all of it before, so it stopped recording in detail. It runs on autopilot, and a week that contained almost nothing new leaves almost no traces in your memory. And when you look back, there's nothing there to measure. And your brain shrugs and says, "That was nothing. That was an instant." The years feel fast not because they're moving faster, but because you're saving less of them. You're living in a lower and lower resolution. And here's the part that proves it isn't just about fear or adrenaline. Eagleman ran an experiment that sounds insane. He dropped volunteers from a 150-foot tower into a net in free fall, terrified, and had them try to read numbers flashing on a wrist device too fast to see under normal conditions. The popular belief is in that moment of terror, time slows down and you perceive more. But they couldn't read the numbers. Time didn't actually slow down while it was happening. What happened afterward was the fall felt like it lasted much longer than it did, because in that state of fear, their brain recorded an unusual dense flood of memory. The event was tiny. The memory of it was huge. That's the whole secret. Time, as you feel it, is written in memory. And memory is written by novelty. But there's another layer underneath even that. And this one is physical. As you age, the actual machinery slows down. In 2019, an engineer at Duke University named Adrian Bejan published a theory arguing that the rate at which your brain processes images physically declines over your lifetime. As a child, your eyes flick around and your brain refreshes what it sees at a rapid pace, capturing more mental frames per second, like a high-speed camera. As you get older, your neural pathways grow longer, more tangled, more resistant. Signals travel slower. You process fewer images in the same amount of real time. And here's why that matters. If you're capturing fewer frames per second, then more clock time passes between each mental snapshot. To your brain, that means the outside world appears to be moving faster. You are, quite literally, watching your life at a lower frame rate than you did as a kid. And it doesn't stop there. Your brain also runs on an internal chemical pacemaker, and the chemical that drives it is dopamine. Neuroscientists Warren Mack and others found that dopamine helps regulate how your brain tracks the passage of time. When it's high, and novelty keeps triggering more of it. As you age, the baseline dopamine gradually drops, and studies suggest that as it falls, your internal clock ticks slower, which counterintuitively makes external time seem to sprint by. The pacemaker that once made the day feel full is quietly winding down. So, which explanation is the real one? The proportional math? The memory density? The frame rate? The dopamine? And the honest answer is the uncomfortable one. They're all happening at once. This isn't one glitch. It's four separate forces stacking on top of each other, all pushing in the same direction, all conspiring to make the second half of your life feel like it's on fast forward. Your years are shrinking by proportion. Your weeks are vanishing from the lack of novelty. Your brain is capturing fewer frames, and your internal clock is slowing down. Every single one of them accelerates as you get older. Together, they're relentless. But here's what nobody tells you. If time speeds up because your brain stops recording, then the reverse is also true. And that changes everything. The reason childhood felt eternal wasn't magic. It was that childhood is nothing but first. Every day contained something your brain had never seen before, so every day got saved in full. Which means the thing that's stealing your time isn't age at all. It's routine. It's autopilot. It's living the same day so many times that your brain stops bothering to write it down. And that is something that you can actually fight. Every time you do something genuinely new, take a different route, learn a skill that frustrates you, travel somewhere unfamiliar, meet someone who changes how you think, you force your brain back out of autopilot, and it starts recording in high resolution again. Novelty is the only thing that has ever slowed down time, and it's still available to you at any age. People who fill their years with new experiences consistently report that those years felt longer, richer, slower. Not because they added days, because they added memory. The person who spends a year on the couch and the person who spends a year saying yes to unfamiliar things live the exact same 365 days. But only one of them will remember having lived it. So think back to the endless summer one more time. It didn't feel long because you were young. It felt long because you were paying attention, or because everything mattered. Because nothing had happened yet. Time didn't betray you when you were growing up. You just stopped collecting it. The clock on the wall never changed. It ticks exactly as it always did. 1 second at a time, indifferent to all of it. The only thing that changed is how much each second you bothered to keep. And the strangest part is that you already know how to get it back. You knew when you were 7. You just have to remember the whole point was never to save time. It was to spend on the things worth remembering.